Hey, Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Hey, laughing loud when your team goes down. Hey, Straub Boys run this sports town. Straub Bros Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey, college game day and Thursday night. Hey, rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E, two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bros Sports Show. Show.
Yes, as the song says, this is the Straub Bros Sports Show. Big Bro Ken rocking with you as always with Little Bro Drew. And Little Bro, twice in a week I gotta stare at you for 2 hours?
It's only an hour and a half.
Nah, I rock with it. What's up, Little Bro? How we doing today?
We're doing good. I guess involving some stuff that we get to talk about can distract us from the Cavs game last night, so we will get into that.
The fact that I'm going to be able to do this legitimately during a news story today warms my soul, okay? Warms my soul. Not the only thing that warms my soul. But, yes, we've got a lot to talk about. So, if you missed us, I almost did something really bad and blew everybody's eardrums out. If you missed us on Thursday or Tuesday, we already took care of the review. So, you're not going to hear no old takes today. Okay, it's all brand new stuff because we have a full slate of football to talk about, college and NFL this week. But before we get to any of that, the news broke this morning, Drew, sometime around breakfast time, depending on what part of the United States you are from. A massive gambling story that involves the NBA broke. Drew, because this is kind of your job on the show, give me the deets.
Yes. Crazy story here. Kind of rivals the Louvre getting robbed last week. Just massive crime things happening past couple weeks. So this
that went over my head, my unsophisticated head, but that's okay.
This is part of one massive FBI investigation, but it's kind of two-pronged. And so we're going to tackle it that way. The first one is a truly more of a New York old school mobster type of deal here.
Took it from me. Oh, go ahead.
Where the massive crime families in New York basically were staging fake poker games to basically take money out here from people. Now, why is this being involved in the Straub Bros Sports Show? Because these crime families,
because your big brother's a degenerate.
No, I didn't.
I was not involved in the scandal. I was not, Mom. I have nothing to do with it.
As far as we know, good job denying. Anyways, these crime families enlisted influential NBA figures, such as the only one listed right now, Chauncey Billups, to play and make the game seem legitimate. We're not going to get into the massive details on kind of what happened, but basically they were just rigging, seeing where the hands, what hands were being dealt.
Give this over to your brother.
And well, I'm just saying, the hands were being dealt and being able to relay that to everyone they needed to know on the table.
Not just relaying, okay? They had X-ray machines that they would use to see through and see the cards that were on the table. Terry Rozier and Damon Jones. Oh, well, two-pronged. Okay, I'll let you get to that part. This is why this is the best story so far right now, because I get to legitimately read a news story that is not me watching The Godfather, and I get to read the Gambino, Genovese, and Bonanno family were a part of this. This is awesome. I love this. I'm sorry. Just for the record, though, I love this because we get to have fun with it. Y'all are going to jail. Like,
this is
like jail. Like, this went across state lines. Like, you're messing with casinos and the governments. Y'all going to jail. You better start talking.
So obviously Chauncey Billups, the first one to be named, probably because he is an active head coach. He has been placed on leave. But obviously I'm sure more names will come out when charges get brought upon, because this was just because the Portland Trailblazers had to make a statement and release him or put him on leave. So now to the second part of this.
But wait, there's more.
This is more, instead of card tables, this is sports gambling. This is what we're used to in terms of seeing players get suspended. But this is, again, on a massive scale. Two players that have been kind of named, Terry Rozier and Damon Jones, as my brother have said, were involved in this scheme where this would basically kind of what Shohei Ohtani was being accused of, where he would have insider information because he's in the locker room, he knows what's going on, and would relay it to others who would then bet on their behalf, and then obviously the winnings would be spread. To give some examples, Terry Rozier last year went out with an injury, apparently had messaged someone that he was going to be out early, as he had faked an injury. There were many bets placed on the under on his stats in that, and of course, he did leave the game early. The other one with Damon Jones, he was reported as to basically relaying LeBron's injury.
Thank you. I was
to
gonna say,
others.
Leave it Damon Jones to always leave it back to LeBron. That man ain't had a career without him.
So obviously, probably more names will be put on there. But this is a massive, massive story. I feel like the FBI is now completely in control and is understanding of what's going on, because obviously in previous years we saw, one or two players a year getting caught with this where they were betting on their own things. And obviously this is becoming a much bigger scenario because I'm sure the players learned and realized, kind of how to get around it in terms of the system. But now, now that the FBI involved, the amount of names that could be on a list like this could be enormous. And so obviously we'll have to see, but huge implications now in the basketball community.
So I'm glad you took all my good stuff, bro. You took all
you told me to run with the story. I ran with the story.
I mean, just give some stuff in and let me fill in the details. Yeah. Damon Jones can't do anything without LeBron James. So I did read that, yes, that was part of where Damon Jones,
he might be.
Listen, and Chris Paul will be the first one to be the happiest about that. I had read that, yes, that was where Damon Jones got in trouble of the leaking of the LeBron information. Drew, and I can't remember the guy's name because he wasn't a top player, but the guy from the Rockets that we made we laughed about and had the conversation about because he went out with an eye injury and all of his unders hit. He went out with it. You're going to get caught, man. And give me some rope here, bro, to kind of run with this and then pull me back. We don't do politics on the Straub Bros Sports Show. The reason we don't do politics is not because we don't have opinions on it, because trust me, me and this dude could go for 5 hours on that stuff. We want to talk about sports. We want to bring in the thing that brings us together. Number one. Number two, I don't want to. It's everywhere. It's nonstop. It's in your life. Let's take a break. Let's take a pause. Let's get out of that for a second. I want to address something, though, that Stephen A. Smith said this morning, which was where he went on a full-blown rant and basically said Trump is coming and this is all Trump and all of that. Colombo, Genovese, Bonanno. That ain't got nothing to do with with any kind of bad blood or any kind of get back. You start mentioning stuff like that, of course the FBI is going to be involved. Of course the big wigs are going to be involved. Now, I can't speak to any of the other stuff or how much this may have been pushed. I don't even care to know about that. But when I first heard Stephen A. Smith, before I read anything else, I went, oh man, let me look into this because that's crazy. And then I read the article and read the 5 families of the mafia and was like, you know what? Maybe we need to calm down and let this play out a little bit before we start blaming everybody for it.
No, listen,
And that's not defending, and that's not defending anything. So let's not get teeter-totty because of what I said.
No, and listen, I know there's been a lot of stuff in the news about the FBI and the everything that they've been running. The FBI is completely separate.
There we go.
Yeah, the FBI is completely separate from the presidency and the executive branch. Obviously, they work together in certain things, but in terms of what they're kind of going after, it's very different. But so like completely separate, completely kind of on their own investigations. This has been happening for as long as we can remember. Is FBI just going towards things. And also, I want to kind of to end the point here. If the FBI has enough to charge you for something, you're done. They have a guilty verdict in the palm of their hands because they're not going to.
Lawyer. You just better have a good lawyer to nitpick.
Yeah, they are not going to charge you on something unless they know they're going to get a guilty verdict out of it.
Listen, I've seen Goodfellas and Godfather and Donnie Brasco and whatever, name it. I've seen. So I hear Columbo and I hear Genovese and I'm out. But I'm out here. I'm away from this. Yeah. Okay. All right. Enough of that. And once again, we cannot go without being derailed by something to start the show. I guess it's still kind of Shohei Ohtani related, but we'll move on. So, Drew, let's get to the college football. Let's get right to it. We're not going to talk about our Cavaliers.
Out 3 starters on the road. First game of the season.
Can I have one? Actually, I'm gonna just.
I may disagree with you if it's what I think you're gonna say.
I forgot we signed Larry Nance Jr. I'm really happy. I'm really happy.
I agree.
That's some great bench minutes. I'm just gonna throw that
on the other side. If on the other side, just real quick, because I'm sure his defensive liabilities are going to be consistent throughout the season. I need Lonzo to score for him to be an important player on this team. Because the defense wasn't there. There was some really sloppy turnovers. And he also went like 1 for 5, 1 for 6. So we just need him to pick it up offensively.
That's also a man who hasn't played a lot of basketball. Then finally got in at the end of the year. Then had to take the offseason. So I'm going to let him work in. But I agree with you. And this is why we don't do this, because we're going to get derailed for 45 minutes talking about game 1 of 82.
All good. But I agree with you on Larry Nance, though. Larry Nance looked phenomenal last night.
Sprinkle that. We sprinkling that. That's my little J. It missed. All right. Let's get to the college football slate. Drew, we're going to get to the rankings first because we're going to give you some love. Okay? I didn't even get to let you spoil it. All right? Time. And Us is in as well. Let's get to your college football top 25. And hey, I have to give some love at the top because I've been hating on the Buckeyes. Not hating, but every week that number, that little parentheses 60 there, was going down. That's the number of first place votes. As Miami was rising, as Oklahoma was rising, those votes were coming down. They went back up this week. Your clear number 1 team in the country, no doubt to any of us, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Some number 2, we're just going to put it out there. I'm going to stumble through my words. Indiana in at number 2, 6 first place votes. Whoever you 6 first place voters are, you're smoking that crack pack. But
they're from Indiana.
Yeah,
or Michigan.
100%, because that doesn't make any sense. But that's fine. Followed by Texas A&M and Alabama and Georgia. Your top 5, Drew. In the top 5 are 2 Big Ten teams, 3 SEC teams. If you go to the 6th spot, that adds another Big Ten team, so it's 3 and 3. Why the hell are the rest of these conferences even playing?
I have a long-winded speech on the state of college football that I will not get into because it would take the entire show of me just ranting about everything. And it also would show, again, some political beliefs that I don't want to get into. All I got to say is, listen, There's a lot of good teams in both those conferences, and there's also a lot to play for because there's a lot of intermingling of those teams playing each other that'll balance itself out in the long run.
The Nation this week with Ken Stephalopoulos and I don't know anybody's name, so I couldn't even get that out of there. But once again, showing that dominance. Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Miami, your biggest drop or one of your biggest droppers of the week, down to that 9 spot. In Vanderbilt closes out your top 10. Now we do expand the playoffs a little bit. We're out down there to 12. So BYU and Notre Dame just climb it up 1 week at a time, one win at a time. Hold on, we'll get to the game, so don't do that yet.
No. Can I make a quick statement real quick?
Yeah.
And obviously this is
really biased.
No, I wouldn't say really biased. This is not your CFP top 25. It's AP poll. So
yes.
So obviously things are bound to change. You're telling me a 7-0 BYU team that just beat another ranked team can jump up even a little bit? Like maybe because look, Georgia Tech, like they really haven't played that many, and they're at 7. I'm talking like top 10 level stuff here. I feel like BYU's schedule is a little bit better than Georgia Tech, and I feel like we're rewarding Georgia Tech a lot more than BYU. That's all I got to say. A little bit of consistency is what I'm asking for.
You put respect on that 0.
That's what I'm saying. No, I feel like we got to respect it both ways the same way. Especially because I think BYU schedules is a bit harder so far.
And I'm glad you make a good point. You are right. But let Big Bro bring you back a little bit. Remember it used to just be the first 4 to 5 weeks. But now that we have a poll that truly sets the standard for the way to go, this is all about we respect you at the beginning of the year, so we'll keep you up there. And if you get really hot and we start winning, we'll throw you up there too. It's just a lot of, I'll give you some love and I'll give you some love. I mean, I'll jump down for a second. Louisville jumped in this week. What? Okay. I mean, that's fine, but all the way up to 19 over other teams that were in the top 25, like none of this one's almost fake. And it's why it's so predictable. And it's why when I was guessing the numbers when I first was doing the show by myself and then brought you in, or not the show, but before the show, the Facebook post show. When I was doing that and guessing these kind of stuff and guessing who the top 6 would be, it's predictable because it doesn't mean anything yet. When we get our 12, then we can start talking. But I understand wanting to put some more respect on BYU there. My Irish,
it's also biased. I can
a little bit. So that's your top 12 right now. But as we said, doesn't mean anything right now. Oklahoma up 1. Texas Tech takes a big dip after their loss. I like doing the top 25 on Thursday when I've already done it on Tuesday and I don't need to read through games. Missouri up. Virginia as well. Number 17, Tennessee down 6 as they dropped. South Florida up 1. Sure. Louisville, as we said, not rated last week, in at number 19 after their win over Miami. LSU down 10 spots. Couldn't be more. Isn't enough. Isn't enough. Keep it going. Give me more drops.
11.
Up 3 spots to the number 21 position. Drew's Cincinnati Bearcats. Drew, this is the highest you've been in the poll, I think, since that Desmond Ridder year.
This is the first time we've ever been in the poll since the Desmond Ridder year.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. So then it just continues to get higher and higher and higher. Just want to shout out Desmond Ridder and Sauce Gardner, who one is a washout and one may not be in the league soon. After you told me they were both going to be stars. Sauce is getting sauced up on. All right, you throw it at that boy every time. But
hey, we also got plenty of other dudes that are balling in the NFL, so I don't want to hear it.
I get it. At number 22, the Texas Longhorns take a dive 1 spot, and then we have 3 unranked teams, or 3 newly ranked teams who were previously ranked, and that is Illinois at 23, Arizona State at 24, and Michigan at 25. Before we just jump out of here, any surprises?
No, I think honestly, from 22 down, I could list like 4 other teams that you could swap with. So honestly, those teams are like gasping to go on a run, because if there's one more loss and you have absolutely zero chance in any division. But anything else, honestly, like I said, I think it'll all play itself out. You see the games that are going to be played this week, a lot of it's going to figure itself out. So
yes, a lot of it's going to play itself out. And one matchup, excuse me, I can hold on a second, please, so I can pretend to sound like a professional and knows what he's doing. The first game to start off our Straub Bros Sneaky Saturday is a game that I cared a whole lot about last week, and I have to try to find some way to care about it this week, and that's number 18 South Florida at Memphis. Memphis, you were ranked last week. You would have made the big graphic. It would have been a 14 big or a 18 big graphic. But now it's only 3 games because you suck. But yes, at noon on ESPN2, number 18 South Florida at Memphis. Drew, I will say this. Memphis has this game circled. You could have said they maybe lost the trap game last week to UAB. South Florida better be ready.
No, I think you're absolutely right, because I think Memphis needs something to even get back in any sort of race to be with that group of 5 team. South Florida has it in the bag if they continue to do what they do, I believe. And so the pressure is all on South Florida. Memphis had that letdown, had this loss. And so they just have to play better, and they have to be aggressive. They're not scared about losing a game, because they're probably already almost out of it. South Florida has everything to lose here. And I think that's a South Florida team that played insanely well all year, looked really, really good, only lost to one team. And hey, you know what? That team's pretty dang good. So I'm not going to be too upset about it. But yeah, no, these next couple games are going to be truly because they have Memphis this week, and then in 2 weeks they have undefeated Navy. And so those 2 games are going to be, okay, you've looked really impressive, but how much better are you against teams similar to you in terms of conference, in terms of record?
Agreed. South Florida has to hammer Memphis if they want to even have a chance.
I wouldn't say hammer.
I mean, who else? What else is on that schedule?
I'm saying but what I'm saying is you need a group of 5 win, right? You don't have a Boise State that's blowing everyone out this year, in their conference in the top 10. It's truly because everyone in the other group of 5 are kind of knocking each other out. You have this game, like I said, you have undefeated Navy. If you win, I wouldn't say blowout, but if you win comfortably, I would say by more than a score in both of those games, and you remain undefeated, I don't think there's any argument that the only loss you have is a Miami loss that you don't deserve to be in week 3. I think that's a slam dunk right there. They just need to play how they've been playing.
You could say that, but there'll be an argument. But we'll move on. So there's a theme here on this graphic once you get that first game out of the way, for the most part, and that is they may not be big games, but damn, the Big 12 is watchable. So we'll start with this one. Number 11, BYU at Iowa State. Drew, we had to eat our words on Tuesday. Well, I'm going to bring them right back up. There's no way BYU's not on upset alert again with the way they've been playing, with the way the Big 12 is, the way the disparity in that conference does not seem to be very far away between all these teams. Or am I just a BYU hater?
No, I think you're absolutely, because I think this happens every year in the Big 12, and it just happened last week, where you get this team, they're really hot, they're really good, maybe they're undefeated, or maybe they have 1 loss, and they're coming up against a team that maybe has been kind of down the past couple of weeks, or hasn't looked great, the beginning of the season, but it's kind of coming along, but you still believe the bigger team has the advantage, and then the other team comes out and drops 40 on them, and you're like, whoa, what? And we tend to delegitimize those other teams, but it's just because there's so much parity in this Big 12 where it literally, like I said, it's this same thing where BYU coming in undefeated, great job against Utah, controlled the game. Iowa State lost to Cincinnati 2 weeks ago, lost to Colorado the week before or the week after, and so you're like, this Iowa State team is actually kind of fake. I don't know. They can come in at home at 3:30 and wipe the floor with BYU in a great game and win it. It's just how the Big 12 is. And so BYU, you can't fall into that trap. You have to look at this game as if you're playing Texas Tech that's undefeated, or if you're playing Utah again with the same intensity. Because if you don't, this Iowa State team and Rocco Beck is going to throw all over you, and they're going to have a great game.
First of all, you are very correct. When you play in the Big 12, unfortunately, listen, I don't make these rules. Okay, I just explain them to y'all. You can't afford losses. This ain't the SEC, man. This ain't the Big 10. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, as much as we laughed at Penn State, if it was only one loss, Penn State still be up there.
Oh, yeah.
You can't afford losses in the Big 12. So every one of these is damn near a playoff game, and that's going to take a toll on college kids. It's going to take a toll on their mental, and somebody's going to break eventually, and that's why we end up with 2 to 3 lost teams anyways, because it's too much. And I got to play on Friday. Now I got to play on Saturdays. Now I'm at noon. Now I'm at 3:30. Listen, it's hard to get in that rhythm. It's not excuse making when there's reasons behind it. So, by the way, I got to pull this down because sometimes I'm in different sections of our StreamYard and I miss comments. That one had to go back up. Okay, not just for beating Florida State, but for proving you wrong.
Yeah. For Nate, we should put him at 25 as an honorary. No, honorary 26. We'll add an extra spot for him.
I'm with that. All right, let's keep it moving. Number 23, Illinois at Washington, 3:30 on the Big Ten Network. That BYU Iowa State game is at 3:30 on Fox. But Illinois at Washington, this one's up there for me because currently Washington is favored. I know Illinois is back in and ranked. Washington has been playing some good football lately. I think a lot of people are looking more at how they played against the Buckeyes in that first half more than anything else, or not anything else, but to kind of piece along with their wins. But right now, on paper, everybody's saying this should be a good game. I kind of agree.
I think it should be a good game just because I think the only flaw with Washington is that when they come up against a good defense, they absolutely fall flat. They had 6 points against Ohio State and then 7 points against Michigan. But when they play an okay defense like Illinois, because I would say Illinois really doesn't have the greatest defense, they put up points. 38 against Maryland, 24 against Maryland, 38 against Rutgers, 59 against Washington State. Illinois has been known lately to be a team that gives up points. And so I think Washington has a real chance here. I think there's a good reason why they're favored. The offense looks really good at times. It honestly is just a game of what offense is going to come to play and what defense can make maybe 1 or 2 stops to really stall some drives that are looking promising for the other team. I think this will be a good game.
Shootout. Let's go. Points up. Forget the defenses. Forget your stops. I don't want none of that. I want a triple overtime. Let's go. I kind of like Washington here. I like the way they've been playing. Yeah. They're at home. I know that I said that the Illini would have a better they wouldn't just crumble after that loss to Indiana. They clearly haven't, considering that they've jumped back into the top 25. So clearly, but yeah, I really, really, really like this Washington team. Not saying that I'm not high in Illinois. Spoiler alert, this game might come back up later. But we will move on. And bro, you up in the graphic again. Baylor travels to Nippert Stadium. You still can't get a night game to take on
number. I will never get a night game.
I know. Baylor at number 21 Cincinnati, because nobody wants to be leaving your stadium at nighttime. Baylor at number 21 Cincinnati, 4:00 on ESPN2. That is just an absolute cheap shot. It's a beautiful campus that I've walked at night, so I'm just joking. Baylor at number 21 Cincinnati, 4:00 on ESPN2. Drew, I ain't talking no Bearcats, baby. This is all you.
No, this has such a making of the Iowa State or the Kansas game, just because Baylor has a lesser but very similar kind of problem that those teams have, where the offense is not great, but it's led by a really good quarterback, Rocco Beck, Jalen Daniels, now Sawyer Robertson. and the defense is a bend but not break. And so if that track record follows, this should be I wouldn't say a comfortable win, but a good win. However, again, this scares me because while our offense is going to put up points, they've put up points all season. We're at top 5 in offensive efficiency. We're one of the only teams to score on every single red zone entrant attempt that we have. The issue is when it comes to the defense, and this is where I think we can get in some trouble, where you have this really good quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, having a really good year. He is turnover prone, which does help me a little bit. However, this is an offense led by him that could really cause us some troubles. And so I have confidence in this team to get it done, but I could see what I was imagining the Kansas or Iowa State game happening in this game.
So the thing that scares me for you, and I'm going to just talk directly to you, I don't care about anybody else. The thing that scares me for you is Baylor has shown this year they can put points on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like you in a shootout necessarily. I like you as an offense that can score points, then get a stop, score some more points. I don't like you going score for score, tit for tat with a team. Because honestly, and I think you would admit this, if there was 2 more minutes left in that game, when you upset Iowa State, you would have been scared. So I just worry, as efficient as your offense has been, I just don't want to see it get into a shootout all of a sudden and lose track.
No, I think you're right. The crazy part, and you can confirm this, we've been winning shootouts this year, and we don't normally win shootouts. And so I'm not saying
that's why they scare me, because I know you've won a couple, but this is not a formula for consistency.
I agree. And however, I will say the offense or the defense has been able to stop offenses in key moments to allow the offense to kind of get a lead. And I like I said, that's exactly kind of how the Iowa State and Kansas game went. And so having a similar offense that Baylor has, I think it's going to go the same way. But Sawyer Robertson is that X factor that who knows?
No, yes, 100%. He is an X factor. The other one for me would be the same way we talked about Oklahoma when we were talking about, hey, enough of the shootout. Play some defense, play a rugged stuff. That's what I want to see from you this week. I don't want to see you win 35-33. I want to see you win 24. I want to see you win 24-10. I want to see you win, 28-14. I want to see a good defensive performance, and then the offense still bring us home. So, but we'll see. Good luck to you.
Me too.
I don't root against you. Lastly, our sneaky watchable Houston at number 24 Arizona State. I mean, dude, it's the Pac-12. That's why. It's here because Pac-12. I probably said that like 10 times during the segment. The Big 12. That's why. That's the only reason this game here. They're all sneaky good at this point because who knows? Every one of these teams next week could be in the Big 12 slot minus BYU, could be flipped in the rankings.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I will say Houston, I think I just have no confidence in because the one test they did have, they fell absolutely flat against Texas Tech. And I think Arizona is, again, gaining steam and kind of getting to that point in the season where they need to be. Obviously, we'll see what happens. But Arizona at home, they're hitting their stride. Houston, their only loss is to the challenge team that they needed to look good against. They didn't. I really like this Arizona State team, especially at night, at home. That's kind of what it is.
The only thing for me with Arizona State is I did this with you a couple weeks ago. Oh, the loss was out the way. Here's the upset ranked win. You're back. You're rolling. And then you lost again. So Arizona State, prove it to me. I'm not saying I believe in Houston, but Arizona State, just prove it to me is all I got to say.
Also, good for Houston for going 6-1 after 2 years ago being in the basement of the Big 12. Like, we were down there with you, but you were below us. And that, like, to get up to 6-1, I shut them out because fellow old AAC American brethren right there. I'll give them props.
I am gonna absolutely call out the absolute bullcrap hypocrisy that I just heard come out of your mouth, because I have listened to you hate on Houston.
I have never hated on Houston, ever. I hated on UCF. I have been real with Houston about their program, but I have always given them props when they have, and we can take that to the bank, because I would never disrespect Houston if I wasn't actually just saying, hey, you ain't good this year.
Am I thinking of Memphis?
Yes, you are thinking of Memphis.
Okay. All right. I'll back off that one, because I was like, dude, wait, I was about to bring up conversations and you were going to be like, no, that's not the right thing. All right. Let's get to the big ones. It's time for your Straub Bros Big Saturday, and we've got one at each of the big time slots. We start at noon in Norman, Oklahoma, as number 8 Ole Miss travels to take on number 13 Oklahoma. Bro, this is exactly what this is. We've joked about having these, and we've joked about them being a bunch of them. This is 100% an SEC title eliminator, an SEC eliminator. Neither of these teams can afford another loss with the way the other teams are playing, unless we get some real chaos. Ole Miss is going to try to bounce back after their loss to Georgia last week. Oklahoma is just going to try to continue to bounce back as they have since that Texas loss. Drew, is there any way the under hits?
No.
More on that later.
I will say Oklahoma's defense has shown up at times, and so there is a chance, but I think your first point is absolutely correct. There are 6 one-loss teams in the SEC right now and 1 undefeated team, and so getting that second loss, ask LSU, is a backbreaker when it comes to that. And I think this comes down to really one question. Is John Mateer healthy again? Are they ready to it? They finally realized they could run the ball last week and it proved them some success. So are they going to be able to lean less on Mateer and run that football against Ole Miss and then rely on that defense? For Ole Miss, listen, man, you had that game last week and you blew it. If you look like you did last week against this week, it should be even a bigger gap in the scoreline. And maybe you can't physically calculate a blowout or a blowing it because you're up by so much. So if you play like you did last week, this should be a good performance for Ole Miss. But Oklahoma, a little bit of a different test, plays a more consistent brand of football than Georgia does, where Georgia kind of really didn't show up. So kind of have to see what we see in the first quarter.
100%. Other than the Texas game, there's been a consistency to Oklahoma's play. Good defense, and that offense starts rolling, and it does what it does. Sometimes it's 24, sometimes it's 44, but it gets its jobs done. But the defense been consistent. Then you have the Texas game, which is an outlier at this point because we've seen it against other teams and quality teams. It's not like Texas was the only decent roster that they played all year. So that I know from Oklahoma. So that Oklahoma's right here. The problem for Oklahoma is Ole Miss can come down, but Ole Miss can go up.
Yeah.
Ole Miss says, you got 40, I'm going to put up 50. You got 50, fine, here's 60. But Ole Miss could also go out there and put up 10.
Yeah.
14, 13, whatever. So I know the consistency I'm going to get from Oklahoma. What can they force from Ole Miss? Because if Ole Miss just comes out flying and rolling, Oklahoma, I don't care how healthy John Mateer is, they may not be able to keep up with that offense. As good as that Oklahoma offense is, that Ole Miss offense at its top, at its best, is better.
No, I think you're right. And
that Ole Miss defense is suspect. Sorry.
No. And I think I think Oklahoma has to look at this from the Auburn game, where if you can control the line of scrimmage on the defensive side and make I'm Chambliss, I can't remember his first name. Trinidad Chambliss uncomfortable, make sure he can't get out of the pocket, just like you did Jackson Arnold for Auburn. you are going to be able to slow this game down and win with 25, 30 points. But if you can't do that and you let Chambliss run around, you let him get guys open, it's going to be a long, long day because I don't think that their offense can match up with Ole Miss's offense.
I agree with you to be curtains. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I 100% agree with you. Auburn has kind of been one of those tester teams in the SEC this year to kind of, hey, how did you do against Auburn? You did good. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. You did bad. All right. We stay in the SEC. We just move over to 3:30. Got a whole SEC theme this week.
Yeah.
A matchup that I hate to put it like this, but damn, I wish both of these teams could have beat Alabama. This would have been a top 5 matchup. Number 15, Missouri travels to take on number 10, Vanderbilt. This is another one. I mean, even more than Ole Miss and Oklahoma, just because the talent on the roster will get some eyes to lift them higher. Neither of these teams can afford another loss. And unfortunately, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, they definitely can't afford to have one of those losses to beat each other.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
So we will see. It's a very much of a toss-up for me. So I'm going to let you get in here and help me break this toss-up.
I think you're right, because I think these teams are so similar to each other in terms of teams that normally aren't good in the SEC finally starting to kind of rise up through the lower tiers into those middle tiers, maybe a little bit more above. But it's teams that have had some good wins this year, but a team they both had one loss, and it's to Alabama. And it was basically the same way of just kind of getting dominated, not on the score line, but in terms of just on the field. And then both, in terms of offensively, really relying on their quarterbacks. One, Diego Pavia for Vanderbilt, Bo Pribula for Missouri. These are so similar teams that you truly just kind of have to ask yourself, what team do you trust more to get it done? And in my opinion, I think that's Vanderbilt, because I think Vanderbilt has shown that even when, in different ways they've been able to win. They've been able to win when they've been going back and forth and scoring. They've been able to win in a blowout. They've been able to come back and win. Where Missouri is kind of the same way, where they're ahead. And even either they stay ahead or they let the team come back, but they hang on. I like I like the way they play. I think that their ability to hold on to possession and truly just take drives down the field for 7-8 minutes and then also get a touchdown of it, I think that's a massive key. Where Missouri, they're a little bit more electric and they explode, which is really good at times. But when you need to eat some clock and you need to truly just wear the game down and wear the defense down, they really haven't done that this season. And that's why I think I give Vanderbilt the edge. That's the only thing I can give one of the teams the edge on. And so I think I have to go Vanderbilt in this instance.
All right. Sonic is Missouri. The bottom of the pin is Vanderbilt. We're going to go with Vanderbilt. That's how, it's a toss-up. It really
is.
These teams are so similar. It's hard to call, and I'm going to leave it with what you said because I'm not going to top that. So we'll stay in the SEC. We've got one more to go. Number 3, Texas A&M, a big challenge as they travel to Baton Rouge to take on number 20, LSU. Drew, I'm going to try to say these words and not throw up. I'm going to defend Brian Kelly.
Oh, God.
Oh. Okay.
Gross.
This game is all in LSU's hand now.
Yeah.
They need the win bad to even try to stay alive. Texas A&M has been getting closer and closer and closer to opponents. Rather than rather than starting to separate themselves. This has upset alert all over it.
Yeah, and I hate to think that, but the issue is that Texas A&M, one, really hasn't gone this far in the season and been undefeated since the Manziel. And so they're kind of in uncharted waters here in terms of like kind of this coaching regime and everything. But also, this is a game Texas A&M loses. This is a game you're going into a team that's not, amazing, but they're not bad in the slightest. And you're going to a very hostile environment. Baton Rouge is all at 7:30 on a Saturday with the top 3 team coming in. there is not going to be a single A&M fan there. It is going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. A&M loses these games 9 times. Well, in the past 10 years, 10 times out of 10. But this is also an LSU team that has been known to kind of, after a loss or two, especially in the Brian Kelly era, when they've been out of CFP contention, to kind of just give up. And so it all depends on how this LSU team is feeling in going into this game. Because if LSU feels that they're out of the CFP, they're not going to get back in, where they're at in the rankings is way too far, even if they win, yada, yada, A&M's going to come in and dominate this game, and they're going to go out, and LSU is going to be completely off our radar for the rest of the season. But if they think they still got a shot at this, and they think that the first thing they need to do is knock off an undefeated top 3 Texas A&M, A&M better come into this like it's a national championship game, or this may go exactly how it's been the past 10 years.
Dude, you're killing me to have to follow somebody. You're killing it. I can't be over the top clown the entire show. So here, I'll give you this. You're right. This is 100% a game that Texas A&M loses. But God, can I tell you how many times I've watched Brian Kelly lose this game?
Yeah.
Can I tell you how many times this man has watched Brian Kelly below this game? Like, whew, I would 100% have all my money on A&M if LSU won last week. But
yeah, that's a very good call there.
But they didn't. So and this is when we joked about the LSU Ole Miss game. Brian Kelly, are you going to choke to a good coach? Lane Kiffin, are you going to choke to a good team? Which one was going to choke? This is kind of it too. Like A&M doesn't win this game, like you said. Brian Kelly doesn't win this game all the time, although the lower seed to the higher seed clip off is the one that Brian gets to then give you the false hope, which is why I'm starting to lean towards LSU.
But it's usually early in the season.
Yeah, very correct. Number one, it's early in the season. Number two, if it is later in the year, it's because we do the normal Notre Dame thing, which is to drop the early game and then have to win everything. So the offense gets rolling. There is nothing about this LSU team that has impressed me this year. Like, I don't care. So
also, I'm going to throw a stat out here because I saw it today.
Ooh,
it was a full graphic of quarterbacks' percentage of completion above or below expected based on yardage, right? And so they had like about 12 quarterbacks up there, and one was Garrett Nussmeier. And I looked at his, and his was really staggering because while most other quarterbacks, when you looked at them, because they're the top 12 quarterbacks, are either kind of consistently on the line or above as the yardage goes, or some of them go up as they go further down the field. Garrett Nussmeier's completion above expected tanks to minus 30% when he gets past 30 yards. And so this tells me that their deep ball is not there right now. And so if I'm Texas A&M, I'm kind of playing a more close game, trying to let them run on me and letting him kind of throw over the top of my DBs because his accuracy is not there right
now. No, it's not there right now. NFL teams are seeing that. And that's why we haven't seen this explosive LSU offense that we were supposed to see, because he can't throw the ball down the field. So
I said that last year, if I'm being honest. I wasn't that impressed last year.
100%. And I agree with you. All right. So, Drew, that will do it for your Straub Bros Big Saturday. Get it together. Do you have anything special, or is it time to get degenerate in here?
Listen, I not to sound gross. I blew my load last week or on Tuesday with the quarterback gunslinger award there. If you guys didn't check that out. But no, I got nothing. I get all you the rest of the way from different graphics.
Pause. Again, we need to come up with a different phrase for you to say other than that. And then two, he's also 1,000,000% correct. If you did not, go back to Tuesday's show, check out Drew's Gunslinger segment. Top-notch work from my guy, as always. So, all right. Well, it's not Chauncey Billups, and it's not stealing and reading cards at the tables, but baby, let's get degenerate. Let's make some money. First things first, you know how it goes around here. Your top 25 spreads, all under 20 points, and your Ken's Chef specials. So we'll start, well, not really start, but as you see there, your Virginia Techs, your Floridas, your everything else. I'm going to open up my FanDuel so I can try to stay with this. South Florida, as I said, Washington favored over Illinois, -4.5. That was a big one for me. Iowa State favored over BYU as well. So you're seeing the money come in on these teams that, I mean, we'll be honest, we're not the only ones who believe BYU's been cutting it too close to the skin of their teeth and winning these games. And where there's also a lot of people who do not believe that Illinois is that good, and that's why the money's coming in on Washington because of how good Washington has played. I found my graphic, so I was stumbling through there. But some of your Chef specials, that Virginia Tech is 6.5 over Cal. Bowling Green -7.5 over Kent State. You know, we get into our action up here. Nebraska, I'm gonna give you another chance. You're not dead to me yet. -7.5 over Northwestern. If you pull a Penn State, so help me, I will drive to Nebraska to fire somebody myself. SMU -2.5 over Wake Forest. The complete disrespect. Wow. That is on SMU right now is ridiculous. Ha. Terrible. Let me contact the FBI. Pops is terrible. I ain't even putting that up there. Kansas -2.5 in whatever they call the Kansas State game. Drew, I know you'll have something on that, right? The whatever. I mean, is it? Do they play for a what are the dust? A dust thing?
A dust thing? Is that?
What are those called? What are those called?
A tumbleweed.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. I'm reading degeneracy. I'm
gonna let you know. Because I actually do know this because I think we did the rivalry segment a couple years ago. It is called the Sunflower Showdown because both have Kansas is the Sunflower State.
That is an awful name for a rivalry. Do better. Arkansas -1.5. Buffalo -9.5 over Akron. I know we love us some Akron, but Akron's not good. Excuse me. My son's cold is trying to take me out, but I'm fighting strong. Iowa -8.5. TCU -15.5. Troy -9.5 over my Louisiana. Just gonna point that over there. Wyoming -4.5, and then that sneaky one down there at the bottom. That is Utah -13.5 against Coach Prime and my Colorado Buffaloes.
Question.
Yes.
Is TCU potentially against Oklahoma State this week? No, they're not. They're against West Virginia. Okay, that honestly also kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the 15.5 is for West Virginia. That's why it's in there. Hopefully our Mountaineers can try to cover. All right. We got all that out of the way. Let's make some dough. Drew, I had a good week. And you know what happens when you have a good week? You gamble like an idiot. So let's get to our locks. 30-18 on the year. Ooh, I'm nervous about this week. We start with Nebraska -7.5 over Northwestern. I know. Oh, Ken, you just ripped Nebraska apart. Not even last week. On Tuesday's show.
They're both 5-2.
But man, listen, man, I'm a sucker for a good bet, and this Nebraska team should put up 30 realistically on Northwestern. So I don't know, but we're gonna roll with it. Hey, Drew, I asked you a question. Was there any way that the Ole Miss Oklahoma under was gonna hit? You said no. Well, guess where it is? Lock of the week. Ole Miss at Oklahoma over 54.5. Give me that baby right here. BYU at Iowa State over a 48.5. Two teams with two good quarterbacks who like to put up points. Give it to me. I like that. Missouri over Vanderbilt over 15.5. Yeah, a lot of overs this week. Same exact thing. Both of these offenses like to score points. I think both of these defenses are going to play a bit nervous, and I think that's going to help both of these offenses put up some points. Oregon versus Wisconsin over 44.5. Why? Number one for Drew. Number two, because Oregon could put up the 40 themselves. Now, hopefully Wisconsin doesn't get shut out again, so which makes this a little bit tougher. But I believe in that Oregon offense. I believe this can work. And last but not least, I did talk about it, and I like this one. I actually think this is my favorite lock of the week. Colorado at Utah under 49.5. This Utah defense has been playing better. Colorado's offense, while is good, can be inconsistent. I could see this being right around 20 to 24, just exactly in that range where I need it to be.
The issue is I don't think, and not to diss on Colorado even more, but the only issue that you could run into is that Utah puts up 40 and Colorado puts up 10, and that's a 50, and that's a bad beat.
Don't do that to me. Don't even wish that upon your brother like that, okay? This is your nephew's college fund. Come on, dude.
Oh, God.
I'm joking. Relax. All right. Now, upsets of the week. I updated my upsets because I'm at 17 on the year, not 16. We've got some good ones. Kansas State plus 120 over Kansas. Illinois plus 156 over Washington. Kent State plus 220 over Bowling Green. Then we get to the good boys. Northwestern plus 225 over Nebraska. If you think Northwestern's got another one in them. Louisiana plus 275 over Troy. Louisiana, I'm going to dance with you again, even though you're going to break my heart and leave with somebody else, but I'm going to do it. And then lastly, that Syracuse plus 660 over riveting. Just give me 1 second.
Amazing.
Over Georgia Tech. I apologize.
There we go.
We talked about it. You mentioned it. That schedule possibly creeping up on Georgia Tech. You said Syracuse was sneaky. Well, if you believe this is the week that Georgia Tech goes down, plus 660 on Syracuse, I do want to just sprinkle this little reminder in. I know I probably shouldn't. This is going to get me in trouble. Last week's upsets were all of our upsets that were plus 250 and above. I'm just going to throw that out there. Do it with what you may. I'm not responsible for your mortgage being behind on, but I'm trying to offer a little help.
I also will say, just for those that, share my love of Cincinnati football, just me, the over for the Cincinnati Baylor game is set at 67.5. And so, I'm not saying take the over.
Which one?
The Cincinnati Baylor over under is at 67.5.
Oh, bro, that's so many points.
It is so many points, but I would like to read you the past 3 games from Cincinnati.
I looked at it.
It's nuts because you think that it's going to be a low scoring game. Cincinnati 49-17 last game. That is 66. 20-11 UCF. I'll give it that. That was a low scoring game. 38-30. That's 68 points. 37-34. That's 71 points. And those are the 4 games that they've played in the Big 12. So that is 65 or more points in 3 out of the 4 Big 12 games.
And that's why Vegas is very, very rich and the rest of us are not, because you're reading me that. And now I'm going to do it. And then it's going to be 20-10. And I'm going to hate you so much.
Actually, don't bet on me, because when you don't bet on me, I cover things. So that's probably a good idea.
100%. So Nate, you do it and we'll share. So yeah. All right. So that'll do it for my part of this degeneracy. I've got more later. Don't you worry. But we'll kick in because the college stuff just takes us out of the entire show and derails it. But yes, there you go, Pops. It's not just why Vegas is rich. It's why their hotels are huge because of that, what you're reading to me right now. Let's get to the NFL. We've got more to talk about. Now, I don't got any storylines this week, so we're just going to run through the games, and it starts tonight with Vikings at Chargers.
Oh, this is a game that I think no matter the outcome, I'm still going to have so many questions of either team. So I'm going to just enjoy the game and just have a good time, because I don't think that any result is going to tell. It could be 100-0 by either team. And I could go, Okay, they'll probably still lose next week. It's one of those games where both teams are so up and down and confusing and how they're trending that I'm going to just throw that all away and not overanalyze this game and just enjoy a football game on a Thursday night.
I have $0.00 right now in my FanDuel account. It was a bad weekend. I withdraw as well, so it's not like I just run it into the ground. But I don't got nothing. But I kind of want to put something back in to get started. I was gonna wait until tomorrow, anyways. But like this game kind of makes me want to, but it also makes me want to throw my phone against the wall. That's because I would just take everyone's unders in this game. But
there's like 6 different scenarios that could happen in this game, and it would be the one that you didn't pick to happen. So
100%. But I'm also not very interested in this game. When's the World Series start?
Friday, tomorrow.
All right, I'll be watching the college then. Well, excuse me. Damn it, Landon.
Boy, son.
Yeah.
On live air.
I'm sorry. Well, when he's in the never mind. Every night. So we'll roll to Sunday. Dolphins at Falcons. I mean, sure. Falcons by 1 million. Bears at Ravens. Should be the return of Lamar Jackson. Go ahead.
So this could be one of two things. It depends on the result. If like I said, the Bears have won 4 in a row. They're 4-2. Ravens obviously struggling, but get Lamar Jackson back this week. If the Bears pull this one off, it will not. I still don't think it'll say anything about the Bears. I think that will officially put a fork in the Ravens season if they were to lose this game. However, depending on if the Ravens win, depending on how they win, that would be very telling by how the rest of the season goes. Because the Bears, I think, are prime for the taking. I think they've been beating teams they should beat, but I think against a good team, they're going to struggle mightily. If the Ravens barely get by the Bears, I still have no faith in this Ravens team that they're going to make the playoffs. But if they dominate the Bears, if they win big, that's where I go, okay, they are well within this divisional race.
That's the only way I'm walking into this show. Maybe possibly Wednesday. I have parent-teacher conferences on Tuesday. So possibly a Wednesday review, Thursday preview. The only way I walk into that show on Wednesday and say, okay, maybe the Ravens can do this, is if they absolutely demolish the Bears. If it is a close game, I don't want to talk about you. I already had you on the cross-off list, and the fact that Lamar was hurt was the only real reason, to be honest. But no, not at all. Jets at Bengals. A lot of talking in New York, and not from the team that actually probably should be talking. The quarterback play hasn't been good. I'm sorry. Justin Fields responded to some of the criticism. Regardless, this should be a nice warm-up game for Joe Flacco and the Bengals to get that offense continuing to kind of start to flow as it's been since he's come onto the team. And honestly, I really don't think this should be a close game.
The issue for me is I think both teams have reasons as to why they could lose. The Jets are 0-7. They're potentially starting Teddy Bridgewater, potentially not Teddy Bridgewater. I'm sorry. Jesus, Crown Eagles.
I'm sorry, I missed you.
Not Teddy Bridgewater. Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
They potentially playing Tyrod Taylor, but he's also questionable, so they could have a third string. They're also just a mess, and the head coach is also not naming the starting quarterback to try to. You're 0-7. You're 0-7. Who cares? That's not going to give you an advantage. Anyways, that's the Jets, but also the Bengals. While yes, they looked good on Thursday night, it's also Thursday night. It's at prime time. Players look better than sometimes they normally do because the lights are under them. While I do think Joe Flacco is going to have another good game, it's also entirely possible Joe Flacco looks like the Cleveland Browns Joe Flacco of a couple weeks ago. And so both teams could potentially just look absolutely dreadful. But if we're talking about the team that has the least amount of chance, I agree with you, the Bengals.
Yeah. The Jets. Pull out the green jerseys. Go touch a rock. Go do a prayer in front of touchdown. Jesus, I don't know. Do something because y'all suck.
Oh. Listen, I like this coach, and I said it earlier, earlier in the year. But the more that they continue to be winless, the harder it is for me to justify him being in this role. Because while I love his attitude and I like the way he's leading this team, you can't go 0-7 and think that you have a good job security.
I agree. In as much as I don't necessarily think he's a bad coach, yeah, this can't last forever. All right, let's move on, please. I don't want to talk about the Jets and Bengals anymore. I don't want to talk about this game much either. Bills at Carolina, Bills at Panthers. Don't slip up though. Carolina has been sneaky good every once in a while. Buffalo has been weirdly down to their opponents. Go handle what you're supposed to, Buffalo, and make us remember who you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I think the bye week helped them out last week. Got back right, and I think Carolina, while better, is not where they need to be to get on the Bills level. It'll probably be higher scoring than most assume. So I think the Bills defense is just leaking points right now, but I think the Bills still comfortably win this game.
100%. San Francisco at Houston. Listen, I think we've seen enough out of this Houston team after this is week 7.
This is week 8.
So we've seen 7 weeks of this. They're just average. They're an average NFL team. So as long as San Francisco continues to get healthy and start to play like who we thought they might be, they're going to win this game. But I would not be surprised if San Francisco dipped a week trying to get all these guys back healthy and Houston decides to put up 35 points randomly and win the game.
No, I think you're right. I think the Texans are one of those teams where you go into the drafts and they go, and at number 7, the Texans are on the clock, and you're like, the Texans were the 7th worst team? Oh, wow, that is a bad. That's how I feel about the Texans, where I think we have a recognition because of the receivers and because of what Straub did his first year that they're better than what their record is. But honestly, it's just they're not great. And San Francisco getting healthier by the week, they also don't look bad when they've been hurt. I think 49ers should win this one pretty comfortably.
Absolutely. Houston has the 7th pick in the draft. Oh, okay. Hey, Houston has the wild card spot. Oh, okay. Like that's I just sure. So Cleveland Browns at New England Patriots. I do not feel like this game should be close at all. However, I still probably think New England's going to beat you by a field goal.
Listen, won by Green Bay by 3, lost to Minnesota by 4. We play teams with young quarterbacks really well. And this is another young quarterback. I'm not saying we're going to win this game, but I think we're going to make it close just because our defense keeps us in these kind of games.
Yes, your defense is going to stifle them. Your defense is going to make it. That it's 100% going to be your defense that hangs in there. I just think the Patriots defense is good enough to kind of hold you back by a missed extra point. I think their defense is good enough to kind of hold you back a bit and allow their offense to get running. I will say this though, the Patriots running game has been abysmal, and literally the quarterback play out of Drake May has been carrying them. So if that good veteran defense that you have can continue to stifle that running game, turn them one-dimensional, that's how you keep it close and potentially pull it out.
I agree.
This is a fun one, even though it's in my division.
Jackson Dart, 1:00 game.
Jackson Dart and Bo Scatterbo head to Philly to take on Jalen Hurts and this bum-ass Eagles squad. Sorry, I'm a hater. Drew.
So a hater.
Drew, come on. This is it, finally. Please, tell me.
The issue is, obviously, Scatterbo, exciting. Jackson Dart, exciting. It's a 2-5 team. This team is 2-5, and I know 3 of those were Russell Wilson, and I get that. It's still 2-2. That's still And listen, these teams played literally 2 weeks ago on Thursday night, but the Giants were at home. It's Thursday night. They got excited. They got up for a rookie quarterback. You're now in Philly. It's a 1:00 slate. Eagles are much more comfortable. You're not getting the boost of a new quarterback. They've seen him already. While I like the direction the Giants are going, I think I like Philly just because of the consistency. And now they have film on all these guys.
Nah, man. No. Give me Jackson Dart and the Giants. Doesn't make any sense. No, I'm not putting them in my parlays. But nah.
I was about to ask, you gonna put a bet on it?
No, hell no. No offense. I don't bet against the Eagles. I usually throw them in the parlay. Okay. But yeah. All right. Get us to the 4 o'clocks. Oh, baby. Here we go. Baker's back for redemption. Back in New Orleans against the Saints. I mean, this should be pretty washed, even with the injuries to Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Hey, divisional matchup, always potentially a chance to be close, especially now that you're on the road. But yeah, I think they got humbled last week by Detroit. But I think they get back right and they get back to winning ways.
I 100% agree. Tennessee at Indianapolis. Spoiler alert, because obviously the degeneracy continues with an NFL player parlay. This was one of, excuse me, and I'm going to jump back just a peek. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure this was one of the most lopsided money line picks in the entire NFL this week. Heavy favorites on the Colts, especially with the way that they've been playing and just how not bad Cam Ward has looked, but just how bad Tennessee is.
No, and listen, the Titans have not given up under 20 points all year, and these teams played each other already, and it was 41-20. It makes complete sense why everyone would be in favor of Indianapolis now that they're at home, and they haven't shown any signs of slowing down offensively. May you take the points in the over, depending on what it looks like? Probably, because Indianapolis' defense isn't really looking that great either. However, yeah, give me Indianapolis by 1,000.
I'm going to tell you just because I wanted to. So, the Colts are currently minus 1,100. They are 14.5-point favorites. Yes, all of those. The largest.
That's a week 1 college football game stat line or score line right there.
Yeah, that's the largest line in the NFL. But Vegas is off this week. But so then your best Sunday 4 o'clock game, and I'm not being biased on this one. It is the best of those 3 games. Yeah. Cowboys at Broncos. Cowboys at Broncos. I'm going to just put this out there now because I don't want to hear y'all next week. This is the game we lose. We just beat the crap out of Washington. I'm in here hollering "We them boys," playing it on the speaker, having the jersey. We go out and everybody goes, well, the Cowboys looked good. The Broncos are struggling. Oh, yeah. No, do not believe it.
That's the thing for me. It's like, I know your defense isn't great. But your offense is humming right now. And the Broncos. Awful. So I think you have a good chance in this one, but I understand where you're coming from in that point. So we'll see. It should be a good game.
Nonsense. The Aaron, he's got like 6 of these now, so it's kind of starting to lose its touch. But the Aaron Rodgers return game, or not return game, but vengeance game. Green Bay travels to Pittsburgh as the Packers take on the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers' replacement gets to play him again. Is this the game where Jordan Love makes everybody fall in love with him again? Or does the old man let the young kid know he still got it?
Dude, I don't know. This could literally go any way with Jordan Love having every type of performance so far this year, and also Aaron Rodgers having every type of performance this year. Both defenses are good when it comes to the pass. both are playing good but not great offenses. They're very similar, and so I think it'll be a close game. The only thing, I'm sorry to say it, the only thing I think Green Bay has the edge on is defensively, because I think they make a lot more plays than Pittsburgh does. And so I think I have to give Green Bay the edge here, but also playing Sunday night in Pittsburgh is a very hard thing. So that being said, I probably will take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh just because it's not a shtick.
Hate Micah Parsons.
No, well, no, that's not fair. Do not hate Michael Parsons. I'm at war with this Packers team and this Packers defense, so I'm going to just pick against them every week. It's good for my soul, and it's good for the show. Then
it's good for your money line.
Yeah, that too. That's the most important one. We'll get to Monday night. Washington at Kansas City. That is not Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. That is, oh yeah, and yes, we are some haters, so just get over it now. That is Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders heading to Kansas City to face the Chiefs on a Monday night. Drew, I know we see some wild things sometimes, and I know every once in a while there's some upsets, but there is no way this is not I should see Taylor Swift 47 times Monday night.
Yeah, and just them coming off blanking Vegas 31-0, and the Commanders coming in just giving up so many points to you. I think Kansas City has this one well in the bag there. I don't think this is going to be a game we're going to go, oh, hey, is the World Series on, or can we watch that instead of this Monday night game? Because it's going to be just bad.
Is that how I get it? Do I got Friday, Sunday?
I can check for you real quick. I actually don't know.
Let's take the over on Swift. Pop
Friday, Saturday, Monday.
Friday, Saturday.
So you'll have the Monday.
Beautiful. So give me that Monday one. Shows you how much I care about baseball. Pops, if I could take the over in Ohio on Swift, I would. I'm gonna have to travel to some other states to try to find where I think I just got to go to Vegas for that one. And lastly, teams on a bye week: the Detroit Lions, Arizona Cardinals, Las Vegas Raiders, Seattle Seahawks, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Los Angeles Rams. I nailed the Vegas and Rams and LA teams. I never do that. Oakland always gets me. I'm on my game right now, completely thrown off. But it's all good. All right. Last one of the degeneracy for me. No, I did not cook up an EPL parlay. It just
you never do, and that's okay.
I know I haven't done it this year. I'm not gonna start now. I actually think I'm gonna let cousin Nate throw in a crazy random parlay as we get going, but we'll figure that out. I do got an NFL one though. Put it together. 32-14 against the money line. As I said, I did not count my spread wins. I did not put against my spread losses. I kept it fair. This is a money line tracker. I'm doing this to see how I stack up against the rest of these guys who pick games and think they're but give me the Bills. Give me the Bengals. Give me those Patriots. Give me the Falcons -7.5. Give me the Bucks -4.5. And yes, I'm taking the Chiefs money line. Give me the Chiefs -11 and the hook. Put it together for 13.46. Put the mortgage on it. We're going to hit one of these eventually fully. We missed by one twice now. We're getting very close. So if you want to split it up at your own risk. I don't know what to tell you to split it up. Honestly, if I was to split it up, I may take out the Chiefs and change that to maybe a money line Chiefs win. And I may take out the Patriots just because your stupid Browns do stupid things every once in a while and screw everything up.
I was going to say, one, that Patriots one is always up in the air for some reason. But two, not taking the Colts spread, not taking the 21 or 14.5.
I mean, listen, in college, yes. In the NFL, I am not taking teams to win by 14 plus points, man. It's just it can happen. It happens every week in multiple games, but that ain't here for me. I do that on the college side. Okay, I pick money line here.
This is also very fair. Not even just on the Browns, just Browns games in general. Not betting on is terrible.
You have screwed the parlay up multiple times this year, at least once or twice. I don't remember how many wins you got, so probably every one of those wins. So we're hitting to the end. You know what time it is. It's time for the only Cleveland team we bet on is the Cavs. Not last night, but last but not least, It is time for some footy. Drew, let's talk about the weekend coming. Yeah, baby. Yeah. We start with my bros Chelsea Blues, who kicked off their Champions League week with a victory, not kicked off, but a Champions League victory, a huge one over Ajax this week. Congratulations to you, sir. But
Thank you.
Sunderland comes to Stamford Bridge this week to take on Chelsea. This Sunderland team has kind of started to actually, do you want to say come back to earth? Do you want to say still? I'm kind of leaning towards the come back to earth.
I don't even know if you can say come back to earth, because if they were to come back to earth in comparison to our expectations, they'd be a lot further down. In terms of coming back to earth, in terms of their winning and losing some, absolutely. But we didn't expect this team to win many games, if any, this year.
Yeah.
And so, regardless of kind of the stability that they're kind of coming down to, I think it's still a net positive for this team. And that's why I'm still kind of iffy on kind of how this game is going to go, because they have a very good way of just slowing down and just figuring out how to just annoy teams to a draw. And so we'll see what happens here. I am high on the Sunderland team, but there's a lot in attack on this Chelsea side that could cause a lot of problems. So we will see there.
Not many would have predicted that match week 7 would have involved the Sunderland Chelsea game that would have been a 7th versus 5th place. Okay.
Yeah.
And I even think that's including people thinking you would be higher and definitely thinking Sunderland would be lower. I guess over to me. A battle of 9 versus 10. Oh my goodness. And I'm in that 9 spot. How crazy is that?
I will say, I flipped those by accident. You are actually at home this week.
Okay. Thank you. Brighton and Hope Albion travel to Old Trafford, the fortress, to take on high-flying Manchester United. Bring it in here. Bring it in here, everybody. Same thing I told you about the Cowboys game. This has been exactly what this team does, and that's lose this game. However, we're flying high. In Ruben Amorim, we trust. The footy's been beautiful. I've got to believe that if I'm believing in this team, that I should be confident going into this game. But I'm scared.
I mean, listen, this is a game that you're flying high, you look good, and then there's a little bit of a letdown. It's been unfortunately standard for you the past couple of years. And so I think that's a real big thing here is you had a couple good wins, you're looking really good. Continue. Even if we talk about on the show all the time, even if it's a draw that feels like a win, or honestly, a draw that feels like a loss too, where you are dominating a game and maybe you'll slip in a goal. A good performance is, I think, something that is good enough right now to continue this momentum going forward.
3 points or bust. Let's go.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm joking. Just don't go lay an egg is all I ask.
Yeah.
I guess the top matchup, Crystal Palace travel to the Emirates to take on Arsenal. First place Arsenal, we should mention. 8th place Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace still hanging on. So I am impressed there. I mean, but honestly, this kind of has a 2-0, 3-0 Arsenal victory written all over it.
The issue is with Crystal Palace, they are so good at just, like I said, how Sunderland has been saying, but at a much higher level. They are so good at just stopping an opponent from doing anything offensively and either taking that draw to the bank or somehow sneaking a win. We'll see. I have a feeling this is 1-1, written all of it for me, where Crystal Palace sneaks an early goal, and then Arsenal, just because of how just much they're going to throw at Crystal Palace, sneak a late goal. But I could also see it being 1-0 Crystal Palace. I really like this Crystal Palace team, just in the fact of teams that maybe don't have a ton going forward, and I'm going to count Arsenal as a team that doesn't have a ton going forward, they are very, very hard to play against when you don't have multiple options to just break down this team. And I think that's what Arsenal has struggled with for most of this season.
I do smell some hater, though.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Then we're
but
good.
It's because I've seen this before. It's because I've seen it before.
You acknowledged it. I'm Gucci. We'll just keep it rolling. And then lastly, Manchester City take on a flying high right now Aston Villa squad. Manchester City have not been the Manchester City of old, regardless of where they sit in the table, sitting at second currently. Can Villa do a little something?
I think the issue for me is that if Aston Villa did not have a midweek game, where by the way they lost to the go-ahead Eagles from the Netherlands, from Netherlands.
Not bad.
I would give them the advantage here because they've looked amazing lately, especially with a 2-1 win over Tottenham. But I think Manchester City has finally hit their form. I think they're getting out of that slump that they had at the beginning of the season. And while I like this Aston Villa team, they're finally starting to look better offensively. I think it's now coming at the expense of their defense. And I think City's going to take advantage of that.
I kind of agree. Although Victor Lindelof tends to play pretty good against Manchester City. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Is he still starting?
I have no idea. I just know they signed him and he was playing. I don't know if he's starting. But put him in there. Lindelof plays good against Manchester City. What?
Put him in there.
Put him in there. Hey, Maguire. All right. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Whew. We still talk too damn much. But hey, it's always good stuff here on the Straub Bros Sports Show. Drew, any final shout-outs?
Thank you guys for listening, watching, commenting, however you support this show. We appreciate it. Just a quick news drop that I got as the show went on. SEC has suspended the head official that officiated the Auburn-Georgia game, in which two very big calls were contended. They did not.
From which game?
The Auburn-Georgia game, where Auburn was denied a score, saying he didn't reach out, and then also on Georgia's side as well.
Thank you.
They said they will not comment on personal matters, so there's nothing that they will. They have not said anything about the suspension. However, this official apparently was recorded telling officials at the beginning of the year that he would retire at the end of the season. And so obviously more will come from that, but just wanted to get that out there because it's a pretty interesting little tidbit there.
Did I or did I not come in here after that game and say, dude, those were horrible calls? That was a touchdown, and then there was a targeting call. There was the targeting call right after it. They were bad calls. You do not allow me to just rip apart officials. He used to yell at me all the time during the Rapids broadcast. This was just flat out wrong. And the worst part about it is I'm all here for this human error. You went back to the replay. Get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right. You went back to the replay. You went there. You looked for a long time. I was watching the game, and you got them both wrong, period. I'm not mad at it. Sorry. Take your early retirement and go. But we should end on rants. Shout out to Pops. Appreciate you. Ray, as always. Nate, appreciate you. You already know we're not swinging tonight, but we're going to get some 40 in. That's how we do it. Some old men on the 40. We appreciate you literally from all around here, down to Florida, up to Alabama and Georgia, out to California, Washington State, wherever you listen to the Straub Bros Sports Show, although it's mostly around here. Not all that. But we appreciate it. We appreciate the love for little bro Drew. I am Big Bro Ken. We will see you. Drew, can I call it Wednesday?
Sure, why not?
Let's do it. We will see you Wednesday for the Straub Bros Sports Show review show. Take care. Enjoy the football weekend. and I hope your bets win.
Hey, Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Hey, laughing loud when your team goes down. Hey, Straub Boys run this sports town. Straub Bros Sports Show. This is the Straub Bros Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey, college game day and Thursday night. Hey, rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E, two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bros Sports Show. This is the Straub Bros Sports Show.